first of these 7 stocks that I will be buying March of 2023 is Amazon, Amazingzon. Okay, great opportunity in Amazon right now. A lot of people, when they think about buying Amazon stock, they think like they're just getting, I don't know, the e-commerce business, right? When Amazon is so much more than that. You got to understand, you're getting, yes, the e-commerce platform that you probably order stuff on all the time, okay? That's awesome. But you're also getting Amazon Web Services, which is arguably more valuable to Amazon than their e-commerce business. Now let that sink in for a moment. You see all those Amazon trucks driving all around your neighborhood all the time. You're probably placing orders on Amazon all the time, right? And to think this business is more powerful than that business is incredible, but it is actually, okay? And this is their straight profit machine business, Amazon Web Services. They also have an advertising business that is growing very, very rapidly right now. They also own Whole Foods. They own Twitch, which is a streaming service, right? They also, think about it in terms of, this is basically a massive distribution company. Like, who has more warehouses than Amazon across the world, and especially across the United States of America? This is basically the biggest distribution company in the world, right? And also, you're also kind of getting a little mini UPS or FedEx in their business. Like, think about the fleet of trucks they have, the planes this company has now at this point in time. This is basically a transportation company that's building out, and it's very possible that Amazon could be even bigger just on their transportation business than even companies like UPS and FedEx. And this is like, think about how insignificant that business is compared to their other businesses, right? So you've got to understand, you're getting this awesome conglomerate that's just a growing behemoth that is Amazon, okay? Now, in regards to Amazon, this stock hasn't done anything in years, right? 5-year, pull up a 5-year chart of Amazon, it hasn't really done anything, right? And I used to speak down on Amazon a lot back in the day. And so it's an interesting shift that now I'm buying the stock heavy when I used to talk the stock down many, many years ago. And the reason I used to talk this stock down is, to be quite frank, Amazon used to be a very overvalued company many, many years ago, okay? And I made videos about this time and time again. Look at this video, July 11, 2018. And I went into why Amazon and Netflix stocks were overvalued, okay? Amazon's market cap is only slightly above that market cap as of right now, okay? This was just a company, and I'm recording this in March of 2023. This is almost 5 years ago, right? The company at that moment, given what the growth rates were, given where the company was at that day, it was an overvalued company. But I can tell you, now that they've caught up with all this growth and the stock price really hasn't done anything, now it's actually a very undervalued company. This is why understanding how to price stocks, why to understand like how to actually value a company is so important. If you don't understand how to value a company, you could have been buying Amazon 5 years ago and still basically have not made any dang money in that stock, right? Versus understanding now it's a tremendous opportunity and likely making a ton of money over this next 5 years, okay? By the way, Netflix, I was right on as far as that one goes. Netflix's market cap as of today, and it's come back tremendously, but I think it's about $140 billion market cap. The stock price is quite a bit lower today than it was actually back in that day. So nonetheless, folks, it's been a whole change in Amazon. They've caught up with their business model now at this point in time, and it's a tremendous buying opportunity. And so with Amazon, I'm looking at a company here with a fortress balance sheet, growth as far as the eye can see with this business model, a forward P in the 40s, which is way too low in my opinion, okay, way too low. And their major net income ramp over this next 5 years. I think their net income is going to ramp much more substantially than their revenue for this company. So I love Amazon. It's absolutely a stock I'm buying. Anything under $100 a share, gimme, gimme, gimme. If we're talking anything in the 80s, 90s, that's even a better situation for me. So yeah, great company. Just buy, throw in the filing cabinet and call it a day, okay? Meta's going to lay off 10,000 more workers after the initial cuts it already did back in November. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg said Tuesday the company plans to cut 10,000 employees. The company laid off more than 11,000 employees in November. Zuckerberg has pitched 2023 as Meta's year of efficiency, and not just year of efficiency, but if you listen to the latest conference call from Meta, right? Zuckerberg's talking like this is just going to be a leaner, meaner company moving forward into many future years, not just like 2023 is like it. This is just like that's his vision for where Meta is going in the future, which means profits in pouring. The CEO previously told analysts Meta plans on cutting projects that aren't profitable or may no longer be crucial, while simultaneously removing layers of middle management to make decisions faster. It's a very important factor. It's not just about saving money. It's about when you add all these layers to a company, you can potentially slow down your company in a substantial way. add a bunch more bureaucracy to your company, and ultimately you could set yourself up to put yourself out of business in a much more quick amount of time. Here's the timeline you should expect. Over the next couple months, organization leaders will announce restructuring plans focused on flattening our organizations, this is Zuckerberg, canceling lower priority projects, and reducing our hiring rates, Zuckerberg said in a message to employees. Okay, reducing our hiring rates basically says, what that tells me right there, okay, if you want to know what that tells me that Zuckerberg and the team will only hire somebody if they are really the creme de la creme, coming out of their previous employer or coming out of college or something like that. Zuckerberg and the team got, I think, very desperate for workers for a while there, while they were growing at substantial rates, and I think they were just hiring, I don't want to say anybody, but they were, let's call it, lowering their standards, okay? And now they're obviously upping their standards in a substantial way. So now this obviously is going to change substantially 2024's EPS numbers for the company, right? I mean, if you look at what analysts were expecting, they were expecting 11.48 for 2024 EPS numbers. I don't think it's crazy to imagine this company does $14, $15 of EPS in 2024, especially as they get reels rolling in terms of the revenue opportunity over this next 12 to 18 months, and then you take off all these employees and all this cost, and you got to understand, when it comes to employees, there's a lot more costs that go into an employee other than just their salary. Like ask anybody that employs employees out there, okay, is an employer, and they're going to tell you, yeah, like the salary, what that person actually gets paid is just a small amount of the total cost when you tack on health insurance, all the additional fees you have to pay. You might have to have managers that have to manage all those employees, right? I mean, the amount of direct and indirect costs that go into having an employee is sometimes 50% plus more than what their actual salary is. So if somebody's actually getting paid $100,000, the actual cost of that employee could be upwards of $150,000, if not much more substantial than that, okay? So nonetheless, I'm very thrilled with obviously Meta's decision, because this has to be made. Like, they were way bloated with employees. Zuckerberg, Sandberg, and the whole team, they added way too many people. It was completely unsustainable, and now they got a cut, man. And so this is likely their last big cut. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a small cut a little later on in the year from Meta, but I think this is their last really, really big cut. And then you always have a certain amount of employees leave as well, and do those roles get filled? It depends. They might just promote from within, as far as all that goes. So yeah, definitely in terms of that, still on the right track. Now you might say, is this stock still a buy, right? Because obviously it was a huge buy for me. Is it still a buy? My answer to that is absolutely. Absolutely, it's still a buy. You're looking at one of the best balance sheets in the world. You're looking at a company that's going to be focused on net income now rather than just revenues, right? You're looking at a company that's going to start scaling back up their revenues over this next few years. And you're looking at a Zuckerberg in the team that is possibly the most hungry they've been in a long, long time, right? After the whole stock debacle last year and seeing that company go all the way to under $100 a share and be kind of cast away from even big tech. It was an incredible move there, right? And so in my opinion, the stock is still stealing money. Is it as much as stealing money as it was when it was under $100, a few months ago? No. But is it still easy money over this next 3 to 5 years? Yeah, absolutely, okay, absolutely. And I don't think there's going to be any shortage of Wall Street money coming into this stock, because Wall Street loves what Zuckerberg's up to there. An efficient team that's going to move faster, potentially even innovate faster now. In my opinion, they probably will. Plus, you're going to have profits pouring in, cash flows pouring in, and guess what? They're going to be able to take all that money and potentially buy a bunch of shares back if they want, which don't be surprised if you see them buying huge amounts of shares back over this next, let's call it 12 to 24 months. So nonetheless, folks, Meta,